Let me give my bad example of what not to do. Yesterday I spent some time studying a thing on the web, finding out about the Heinrich are they called Heinrich effects? Anyway, they were understood to be the Heinrich phenomenon is meant to be the deposits that's left from icebergs when they melt, and you could tell when there was major climate changes as a consequence of the ice sheet breaking off majorly, changing sea levels, changing temperatures and salinity of the ocean, and all sorts of climate changes across the planet. And perhaps what's called the Younger Dryas, I think that's how you pronounce it, of about 12,500 years ago, something like that, was the most recent of these. But more clearly, the one before it and the 5 before that, I think they've identified 6, you see, that are before the Younger Dryas. Stretching back, I don't know, over 100,000 years anyway. And I think the first remains we have of modern man, what we've identified as modern man anyway, and that we found seems to be of about 145,000 years ago. Anyway, I got hooked on this and the mechanics of it, and ice building up to such a weight, in my view, that the ice underneath liquefies into water at an extremely low temperature, under pressure, you see. And that makes an extremely slippery base for the ice sheet that's on top. And of course there's a general sort of build-up that may make it slide and break off or slide into the ocean and so on. Catastrophic, perhaps even tidal wave effect first for the rest of the world. And you can imagine the ice caps of the poles doing this. Okay, well, that was one distraction I was occupied with yesterday. And the other was, I got hooked on an aeroplane disaster and the fears on the web as to what it implied, and gosh, that took me to after midnight before I chose to go to bed. Would you believe? From something like, I don't know, sometime during the evening. And do you see, I therefore spent many hours yesterday not in perfect media company, not in good media company. I mean, you could say it was preoccupied with truth, but not the truths of relating to God and our reason for living, our devotion to God. So I went to sleep too late. I'd had some rest in the afternoon, so I wasn't too concerned. Partly why I went on to midnight, I suppose. I'd been refreshed by rest in the afternoon. And, well, overall, you see, I'm not at all pleased with myself. not chosen well. We are well, quite simply, we're best when we prioritize God, aren't we? When we focus on the affairs of the world, whether it's our geological history, for instance, in this case, and perhaps some conspiracy theory, may be true, may not be, maybe theory, maybe what we call fact. But what it's not is that it's not keeping us close to God, which is our purpose, to love God with all our strength, heart, mind and soul. My mind was definitely not there, and the heart wandered accordingly, didn't it? My strength was applied to, if you like, secular things. And we do like secular things, using the word like in a different way now. And we stop prioritizing God. And I was going to say we pay the price accordingly. Well, there are consequences. Put it that way. You know, being away with God is, being away from God is not vitalizing. Being away with God is spiritually vitalizing, is life eternal. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.